A bill to address opiate addiction is heading to the governor's desk. The Barnstable Youth Commission is gearing up for its second annual Substance Abuse Prevention Forum, and some regulation changes will soon take effect at Sandy Neck Beach. We have details on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Friday, March 11th, 2016. I'm Sarah Mannel. A bill aimed at curbing the state's opiate epidemic unanimously passes in the Massachusetts House and Senate this week. State Representative Randy Hunt says the bill will tighten prescription regulations in the Bay State.
It does a few things. The major things that people will focus on is that a doctor prescribing, or anybody who's able to prescribe an opiate medication for the first time to a patient, will be required to provide a dose that's no longer than a 7-day dose. Any doctor prescribing an opiate medication to anybody, even including repeat clients, will have to go through the process of making sure that they understand the risks involved in taking an opiate medication. So this bill actually has a number of components relative to education. That's one for educating patients. Another is to formalize opiate training, opiate dosage training into med schools and dentist schools, and also to make sure that all of the doctors who are getting their professional education requirements that are necessary each year have a, for lack of a better term, a good dose of education relative to this problem and some of the things that they ought to be taking into consideration when they are prescribing these types of medications. The education piece also jumps into the schools relative to having this be part of the discussion for any athletes. We have the concussion discussion every year. This will be part of that, as well as making sure that schools use some sort of tool to identify those kids who are most at risk so that we can, hopefully not find out when they're 22 that they started taking opiate medications or other things when they were 14, but find out when they're 13 that they might be one of those candidates for that.
Governor Baker is expected to sign that bill into law early next week. The Town of Barnstable Youth Commission's second annual Substance Abuse Prevention Forum will be held next week at Cape Cod Community College. Director of Leisure Services Patty Machado says the two-day event features a wide range of activities.
The whole program here is to help kids make good choices. The adult night is at Cape Cod Community College, Tilden Center. Yes, it is. It is on St. Patty's Day, and I've had a lot of people say, why you have it on St. Patty's Day? It's the only day that Thursday and Friday that fit everybody's schedule. There's no town council meeting, so our town councilors will be there. So we'll have all the legislative bodies there so people can talk to them. Again, the sheriff department. We will have a lot of people there that people can outreach to, even on the on the Thursday evening for the adults. Then the next day, we will, this isn't open to the public, but the 7th graders, we'll take all the 7th graders, and our idea here is to prepare them for adult, culture. Basically, they're going to walk into the high school. That culture is a heck of a lot different than what they're living in the middle school. And we're trying to prepare them for that jump.
The Youth Summit will also feature a Barnstable mother and son who dealt firsthand with addiction and a viewing of the locally produced documentary Not Yet. That documentary is geared at educating youth about making the right decisions. The event kicks off at 5:30 Thursday, March 17th with a community forum. Friday the 18th is dedicated to the 7th graders. Well, some new rules and regulations will be taking effect at Sandy Neck Beach. Channel 18's Sarah Colvin gets details with Beach Park manager Nina Coleman.
Let's talk a little bit. I know that in less than a month the gatehouse is going to open, but we do have some rules and regulation changes for the beach. So tell me a little bit about what's new and what's different at Sandy Neck these days.
Okay, yes. I'm sorry if you can hear our radios in the background. The gatehouse will be opening April 1st, as you mentioned, which is a Friday. So we will be open 7 days a week after that. In the meantime, for the month of March, we've sent out our renewal applications to folks that had permits last year, and we're busy processing those right now. So folks will start to be receiving their permits and the new regulations in the mail if they're using that process. And then, like I said, April 1st will be open to continue to sell permits. And then April 15th is a big day at Sandy Neck. That's when the 2015 permits are no longer valid, and you must have a 2016 permit.
Great. And is there what's the price structure for the 2016 permit? I think have there been some changes for this year?
There have not been any changes. Last year was a change in our non-resident price, so we're just sort of staying put for now. It is for our Barnstable residents, it's $85 for the year-long permit, and for everyone else, including sandwich folks, it's $170.
Great. And so let's talk a little bit about some of the changes to the off-road beach access hours. The off-season hours have changed a little bit, and the on-season access has changed a little bit. So now that we're currently in the off-season, let's talk about those hours and changes.
Yes, we did make some changes. I mean, generally the off-season, is winter weather here. This particular year, it's been a little odd, but generally in the off-season, we're trying to close the beach at the end of the day when staff's not here. Basically for safety's sake. So we're considering the off-season November 1st through March 31st, and we're allowing off-road vehicles on the beach 8 to 4.
Great. And has that changed at all from previous years? That 4 o'clock, is that earlier than it has been in the past?
That's earlier, but the off-season is shorter. So the month of April, so April 1st, we switch into our in-season hours.
Great.
So April 1st through the end of October, this is actually increased. So we took a little and we gave a little. And that will be an 8 a.m. The beach opens for off-roaders, unless, of course, you're camping. And that our curfew is 11 p.m. So that's, during when there's more light. We have staff on, seasonal staff in particular, and we're able to cover those hours better to ensure that we can respond if something happens out there.
Absolutely, because I'm sure that nobody would want to be stuck out on the beach without anyone to come in and assist them later in the
absolutely.
evening, for sure. So I understand, too, Nina, there's been some regulation changes for ORV campers, very popular out there on Sandy Neck. Tell me a little bit about some of the changes to camper regulations.
Yeah, we did, again, make some changes for safety's sake. As the years have gone by, we have more and more campers out here, partially because our other sister beaches like Nauset and some of the federal lands are closed most of the summer, so we have a lot of campers. They're in pretty tight with each other, so we became concerned about CO issues. So this year we're requiring that carbon monoxide detectors are installed in each camper, which isn't a bad idea anyways.
Definitely.
And I'm sure many of our fleet already has that. They're very cheap, $10 to $20, and I think it's money well spent. So in addition, one of the issues that could cause that problem is multiple issues in a camper, such as the cook stove, but also the generator. So the generators, new this year, we have a quiet period, so it's not only for safety but also for courtesy. And so we are going to require those generators to be quiet or off between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. And that, if you camp anywhere, is very typical.
We'll be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On Monday's show, we will chat with Town Manager Tom Lynch. We'll talk with Interim Superintendent of Schools Bill Butler. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mantle.